Hello, and welcome to another episode of 2 Minutes with Tim here on Heavenward Thinking. Today we're going to pick up right in Proverbs chapter 16, where we left off last week. We're going to look at verses 4 through 6, so I'll read it and we'll get right into this week's challenge. The Lord works out everything to its proper end, even the wicked for a day of disaster. The Lord detests all the proud of heart. Be sure of this, they will not go unpunished. Through love and faithfulness, sin is atoned for. Through the fear of the Lord, evil is avoided. Again, just like last week, these verses are really good reminders for us on a daily basis, and they should help us and guide us on the way we live and understanding who God is and what He does in our lives. We see right off the bat a really key important phrase here in verse 4. The Lord works out everything to its proper end. God is ultimately in control, and thank goodness it's not up to you and I. We are not the ones in control. Ultimately, God is. And even when the world is out of control and there's lots of evil and wickedness and our own sinfulness contributing to that wickedness, God is able to work things out to their proper end. And then it even addresses that wickedness, saying, even the wicked for a day of disaster. And looking at the proud in heart, in verse 5, it says they will not go unpunished. Again, God is going to punish wickedness and sin. We can be sure of that. And so when we see people thriving who are doing wicked things, and we go, well, why is God not doing something? Well, we can be sure that God is going to take care of that. He will judge sin and wickedness. Instead, you and I need to be reminded of what verse 6 says, and that should be the guiding force for our lives, that we should be committed to love and faithfulness. It says love and faithfulness, sin is atoned for. Through the fear of the Lord, evil is avoided. We should be committing our lives to love and faithfulness, serving the Lord, and we should have the fear of the Lord, and we should live our lives out of that fear of the Lord, that reverence, that respect, that awe, that I'm going to follow the Lord because I know who God is, I know who I am in respect to God, and I need to follow Him so that I will avoid the evil way, and then not going to be caught in that day of disaster or that day of punishment. Instead, that sin is going to be atoned for through ultimately Jesus Christ, but through also love and faithfulness, things that we should be partaking in every day, avoiding the wickedness of the world, committing our way to the Lord, just like we talked about last week, following Him, having Him establish our plans, and here, having the fear of the Lord so that we can avoid the temptations of the world, avoid getting entangled with evil and wickedness. And so that's my challenge for you this week, that you would live out that fear of the Lord and understand that God works out everything to its proper end. Allow Him to control everything. Surrender that control over to Him, even if it's hard, and focus on what you need to live out, which is love and faithfulness and the fear of the Lord. That's my challenge to you this week, and I hope you'll join us next time for another episode of 2 Minutes with Tim here on Heavenward Thinking.